Hey everybody, Poppin here with a different flavor of content. This is one of my other, so I like video games in general, but there's like three main ones that I follow and like to play somewhat competitively. That's Pokemon, Smash, and Hearthstone. And I kind of cycle between those three games throughout the course of a given year. Smash DLC comes out, I'll get into that. A new Hearthstone set comes out, I'll get into that. A new Pokemon game gets announced, I'll get back into that. And it kind of works out decently well so that I always have at least one of the games that I play having some kind of new content. And I've never been in the space where I could record a video before for a Hearthstone set. And I figured now I will. Why not? I don't expect anybody to watch this. This is for my own posterity to see how good or bad I am at reviewing cards. And that's what we're going to do. So they just dropped, I think most of the set. I don't know if it's all of it for the new expansion. So we're going to talk about that. So I'm just gonna go through the cards. We have the Gangster, 4/2 stealth. This looks pretty bad. This is like the that dinosaur from Ungoro, where when you play a thing it attacks it, which wasn't very good. This is a lot more overstated than that was, but I think with stats like this you want to have immediate offense. Well, not, you would rather not have this effect. This would be good if it didn't have this effect, I think. So yeah, not very good. Come on. Gift of the Naru. Restore health 3. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Restore 3 health to all characters. If any are damaged, draw a card. Holy, which is relevant because we're looking for some holy spells to set. If any are damaged, draw a card. That's a nice benefit. I don't know how often you're going to have minion healing, but I know just the fact that you might have that plus the self-healing plus the card draw. I think this is pretty nice. I think this is actually really good. If you get more than one card off this, this is busted. And you're pretty much always going to be getting the at least one card off this to heal yourself. This is actually really good now that I think about this. The restoring 3 health to all characters is nice, but the fact that you're pretty much guaranteed to draw at least one card off this is actually a huge game changer. And if you get any more than one, this is absolutely busted. Glaciate. Oh, here's one of those Frost Shaman spells. Oh my god. To summon an 8-cost minion, summon it, and freeze it. It's like that, Free from Amber, also from Ungoro, but that was 8 mana, and you, didn't have to freeze it. So this will depend on what 8-cost minions are in the set. As of now, I've only seen, I think there's only like 4 Shaman cards out, so maybe there's some really good 8 mana stuff, but then again, this is gonna have to draw from all the 8 mana minions, so not very hopeful for this. If there's a huge taunt, that'd be pretty cool, but I doubt it. Glory Chaser. If you play a taunt minion, draw a card. Pretty good. There's the other card with the 3 mana 3/3 that makes you, or 3 mana 2. The 3 mana card that gives you 2 other taunts. That's pretty good. I don't think this finds a place in a deck. I can't imagine putting this in a deck unless you do a dedicated Taunt Warrior deck, which I don't know if there's the support for right now. That card. What else would you put in Taunt Warrior? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Annoyatron, but if there is a Taunt Warrior, this will be pretty decent in it. It's kind of expensive and doesn't have the exact stat line that you would really want. If this was a 3/4, it'd be better, but that's okay. Grave Defiler. Copy a fell spell in your hand. I don't even know what fell spells there are right now. It's decent if there's good fell spells. Heart of the Wild. Ooh, that's really good. That's huge Beast Druid support, which has never been a thing, has never worked. But with all the little wolf cards and the that other 2/3 that gives all your characters +1 attack, that's really good. This could be nice. This could be really dangerous. It could change Token Druid into a Beast Token Druid, and I mean, there's a pretty good lineup. You can do Enchanted Raven into that other 2/3 into this, and you've essentially won the game. I don't see how someone comes back from that. That's a +4/+4 for 3 mana, at least if you just have 2 beasts, and anything more than that is just overkill. Herald of Lochlar. Draw a Frost spell. Pretty good. If there's good Frost spells, this is good. Maybe Frost Shaman needs this. I don't know. Hold the bridge. Give a minion +1/+2. Okay, that's a good defensive piece. This is better defensively than Hand of It All, but I don't know if this is what Paladin's doing right now. I mean, hand buff's a thing. Oh, you know what? Oh, never mind. This is actually really good with that new Shaman, or new Paladin Legendary, who gets double buffs. So good +4/+2 Divine Shield and Lifesteal. Never mind. This is actually really good in a hand buff deck, especially because those can get bullied out by aggro. Take it back. This is a good card. Humongous Owl. Oh my god, that's a huge death rattle. Humongous what? That's funny. If this had taunt, this would be way better. I think this is a meme, but I definitely want to try it. This could be so sick in that okay. You get 2 of those little rogue guys that stealth and copy into rush guys. You play those 2 a turn earlier. You play this thing and the double death rattle thing, and then you have 32 damage going randomly. Probably not good, but definitely fun. Ice Revenant, Frost Spell +2/+2 would be good if Freeze Ray was still here, but it's not, so I don't think this card is good. And I don't really see again, if there's more Frost spells coming up, this would be something maybe for Frost Shaman, but I doubt it. Ice Trap, this is the one we saw earlier. It's an epic, which sucks. I think this is good. Hunter doesn't have any spells that interact with secrets right now, and now they do. This isn't as good as Cat Trick, but not many secrets are as good as Cat Trick. I still think this has a place in Hunter. Gives you more secret synergy and another spell or another secret to pull out of your deck with the that new flanking strike card. Ice Blood Garrison. The end of your turn. That's pretty good. That's really nice. That's at least 3 damage AoE. Obviously, you want AoE on the turn you need it, but this is good for attrition kind of thing. If I don't know if you would play this in Control Warrior. There's a lot better other things. But next set, when what do you call? Minefield rotates out. This could be really good. And depending on what the next classic or what the next standard set is, maybe if they get rid of Whirlwind, this could find a spot. But I don't see you playing this over Whirlwind right now. But with more damage synergies, this thing could be really nasty. Oh, this is also good with Frenzy and whatever relevant synergies that has there. So you want to play Kresh, get the 8 armor for sure right away. It's kind of nice. There's that 3/6 that got buffed that's still not played at all. That would then do essentially 3 1 damage AoE to everything else. So maybe that with Armorer, but I don't think so. Ice of Protector, Taunt. Ooh, that's really nice. That's a bigger version of that Shaman minion from what some other set a long time ago. Frozen Throne. So this is better than... Oh, no, that was from Frozen Throne. This is pretty good. I think this is actually pretty decent. I don't think it will get played, because probably any deck that needs a 6 mana Taunt is going to want something better than this, but I don't know. I kind of like this. It's really, really good defensively, and that's a lot of health. Let's see. Iron Deep Trog. Your opponent cut. That's really fucking annoying. Wow. Oh, it's after though. Okay, never mind. This isn't good. Yeah, if this was when instead of after, this would duplicate out of control and be a nightmare. But man, that's okay, never mind. This isn't good. Cobalt Taskmaster. 2 armor scraps that give +2 health to a minion. Cute. Oh, it's like the banana guy, but for health instead of health and attack. This is bad. Korok the Blood Rager, the last legendary. That's pretty cool. If this... Wow, you have to die exactly from whatever he's left at. Obviously, it's not too hard to do that, but... Like, if you give this thing some... I don't know. Because obviously you can just whittle it down, but... I don't know. I think this is cool. If he had, like, 4 attack, I think this would be a lot better. But I think this is really nice. I want to... And then if you can copy this Death Rattle with other things... And I wonder how this interacts with that Priest battle cry with Cyrella. Maybe get a bunch of Korax. Maybe it'd be pretty good. Legionnaire. Give all minions their hand +2/+2 on a Death Rattle. I don't think that's very good. 9... That's a lot of attack, but... What are you doing here? That's a 2 mana health stat. Not so good. Luminous Geode. That's a good combo with that other priest spell we saw earlier. Zoo Priest, maybe? This would be good if Zoo Priest wasn't exclusively Shadow Priest, so maybe this pushes it in that direction. This coupled with the Chaplain to give some extra health could be good. And the Og Merchants could be nice with this, but I don't know if Zoo Priest is here. I don't think Zoo Priest has much support, but this is a really good card if Zoo Priest ever works, like a Zoo Heal Priest maybe. I wonder if this needs to be successfully healed, like if you heal it and it doesn't actually go up in health. I wonder how that works. Piggyback Imp. That's cute. This is bad. 1 health, 1 health. This is bad. What does a Piggyback Imp look like? Ew. Gross. Pack Pride Seeker. Your next choose one costs 2 less. Pretty good. Don't know where you play this. Not really too interested. Protect the Innocent. 5/5 Defender of Taunt. If your heroes... Oh, that's pretty good. I don't know how you heal your hero besides that Lifesteal card right now. There's not many Paladin things that heal you, per se. So, this could be really good in like a dual Paladin deck, if dual Paladin was any good at all. I don't even know if that's card... Is that card... I don't even know what set that card came out in, so who knows. Shield Shatter. Deal 5 mana. That's really good. That's why the Buckler card got printed. That is so nice, and that combo's great with the new guy who gets charge if you have enough armor. So this plus Buckler, obvious combo. This lets you survive. This is really good in control. I think this is a really good card. It can be prohibitively expensive, but in the world with Buckler, and maybe even run Ironhide for this. Actually, no, you don't, because that'll still be 5 mana. You need exactly Buckler with this, or to be a really heavy control deck. This is really good if Control Warrior's good. I don't know if it will be. That kind of depends on what happens with the Mage hero and the Warlock quest, but I think this is really nice. Reflecto Engineer. Oh, that's really annoying. I don't know if that's gonna be a tech card in the future for something, but that's too much thinking for me to do right now. Ram Commander. Add 2 Rams with Rush to your hand. I wish he had Rush himself. I'm gonna say I don't think this is good. This is 3 bodies, but it's for 4 mana total. This could be good with the Demon Hunter stuff, but I don't think so. Seeds of Destruction. Oh, here's more Fel spells. Shuffle 4 Rifts. Okay, so this is Tamsin's support. I don't think Tamsin's value comes from the Rifts. I think it comes from the Battle Cry and the improved hero power. With more Fel support, this might be good, where you can add a copy of it, but still, I think 3/3s are too easy to deal with right now. Shivering Sorceress. Reduce the... Alright. 1 mana 2/2 that costs essentially 0. That's... If Big Spell Mage is good, this is good. If any mage that wants to play minions is good, this card is good. Sleepbreaker. Add a wind chill. Oh, that's so good. Wow. Okay. Maybe Frost Shaman's coming together. 2/3 with a freeze draw card. I don't see a deck where you really don't run this. This is a great elemental. Freeze support is nice. It can be it can help, and this isn't like a random freeze. This is really good. I think you can play this even in aggressive decks. It can help stall your opponent out while drawing cards to protect your minions. I think this is really good. Snowblind Harpy. I did see this one. This is shitty. Snowfall Guardian, another shaman. Freeze all their other minions. Alright, that is a big swing, and he always gets to attack unless there's a taunt, or if he gets killed with a spell. I don't think this is that good. I don't think Free Shaman's going to be relying on this guy. Stonehearth Vindicator. Draw a spell that costs 3 or less, and it costs 0. So, this depends, obviously, on what spells that cost 3 or less. You want to get a 3, so this is essentially free. That other Paladin spell is good, but you want that. That's something that's hard. You know what? That could be good. I think this is actually good. If you draw a 3-cost spell, it goes to 0. You can play it on something else if you already have a board. At worst, you play it on this, and it's a 3-mana just free spell on it. I think this is pretty decent. Could be good in hand buff. A Stormpike Aid Station. Okay, I was talking about Zoo Priest. This is actually really nice. +2, 3 times over 3 turns. I think this is going to be really nice. Goes great with that Geode and Gift of the Naru. This could be dangerous. If Priest has like one more way to either buff their longevity or maybe give them health or something else like that, this could be really good. Stormpike Battle Ram, Rush, your Neth Beast costs 2 less. I don't know if Beast Hunter is where it's at right now. This is a good card. 4 damage for 4 mana. Well, essentially for 2 mana. I don't see it right now, but this is something to look out for in the future, for sure. Stormpike Marshal. I saw this one already too. This is like that bully from Gadget Zan, but better. It's really easy to take more than 5 damage. But I don't think if you're taking 5 damage, you want a 1/2. I think you'd rather have a board clear, but this is definitely helpful. This could be good in pretty much any control deck that expects to get blown out in the early game and stabilize later. Like this, after, if you did this after, like, you take a lot of damage, you bear off Rancor, and then play this, maybe 2 of these, that's, okay, that's 9 mana, that's a lot. You probably want to be doing something better with your time. Stormpike Quartermaster, random hand buffing, I don't think is good. And especially not a mass hand buff. To the front, your maintenance cost 2. That's really good. This is always just go -1 and then everything gets cheaper. This is very dangerous. I don't know what warrior deck, maybe a tempo deck, maybe a menagerie. This could be good in a menagerie hand buff. You get the baton from Dark Moon, and then start spamming out shit. I think that could be really good. This is dangerous though. Why would you print a card like this? If you get 2 minions out, you're already up a lot, and I think a lot of aggro decks would want this card. That's really good. I don't think aggro warrior's in a good place right now, but this could pretty much single-handedly bring it there. Tower Sergeant, 2 other minions, +2/+2, that's bad. Troll Centurion, Rush, Honorable Kill. That's... If you ever get that off, that's great, but you're never going to get an Honorable Kill with 8 attack. That's way too much. Vitality Surge, draw a minion, restore her health equal to its cost. There was some Paladin card about healing, I think. That's a really good synergy with this one. Draw a minion. This is like the that Night Piece card, but you're actually getting a minion you put in your deck, so you'd think it's better. This would make you want to play a big Paladin deck, which I don't know if you can support right now. Maybe with that Dragon, that could be kind of nice. But I've been big on big Paladin in the past, and it's never worked. I don't think this is the meta for it to work either. Wildpaw Cavern. Ah, man. They're really pushing this freeze shaman stuff. This is good. This is going to be so frustrating to play against. A 3/4 elemental that freezes. You get a lot of those. A frozen... Oh, that's cool. It's a little elk. Yeah, this could be really good if there's enough other free stuff, which I think there might be. Mainly just because that off the back of that one little elemental that gives you the card. That's really nice. Wildpaw Null, Rogue. This is really good in a Thief Rogue deck. The Thief Rogue decks suck. And I wish they didn't because I love Thief Rogue. Yeah. Wind Chill. No. Is this a collectible card too? Oh. Oh shit, that's awesome. Play this card in every deck. Wing Commander, we've already seen that. Okay, so I think we've already seen these, but I'll still get my thoughts on them. I don't think this is the place for this card. Honorable Kill with 2 health. A lot of things are honorably killing at 2 health, so people are going to avoid that like the plague. And how many times are you going to be able to capitalize off the Wyvern? I don't think very often. If I fell fire on the hole, you have better things to do. In the future, maybe more Fel synergy for summoning imps and stuff could be nice, but I don't think that's good. Flanking maneuver, I think this is good for sure. 4/2 demon into another 4/2 demon, at least deal 8 damage, or it could be a 4 mana 4/2 that deals 4. Pretty nice. I've always loved Token Demon Hunter. I might be biased, so take this with a grain of salt, but I think this is a good card. Sneaky Scout is bad. Corporal is bad. Clawfury Adept is very good. I think this is a great Druid card. beast token druid I think is real. It might be. Because I mean, think about it. What kind of play do you set up? You do the bird into this, and you can use that extra 1 attack to clear something. Maybe use the bird to clear 3 if you want. Then give this thing +3/+3 on the next turn, and it just kind of spirals from there. I think this card is a good finisher and also just a good tempo play. This is the guy that I like for Taunt Warrior. 2/4, 2/4, 2/4. Lots of guys. Not very flashy. I like Taunt Warrior. If you could do the bulk up where you copy this, that could be fun. I don't know. I don't think it's very good right now. Spirit Guide, I think this is a great card. Gives you good holy spells, good shadow spells. You can get the shadow res spell. And, oh, hold up 1 sec. Okay, so I ended up pausing the video for like 2 hours. And in that time, more cards came out. So I think this is everything now. And I'm back up at the top, so we're just going to go through it. I don't remember really what I was talking about when I left. But here's Fellwalker. Taunt Battle Cry, Demon. Cast the highest cost Fel spell from your hand. Well, again, I don't really know if there's any Fel spells worth casting. I think Fel is probably the weakest spell school, like by far, and I don't think there's enough tools right now that make this worth it. I'll have to see going forward. I know there's that one that draws a card and does AoE damage, which is pretty good, which could make this worth it, but I don't know what the Fel game plan really is, so maybe keep an eye on this, but I don't think it's gonna get there. Arcane Whoa. Add a copy of a 7, 8, 9, and 10 costs spell from your deck to your hand. Holy shit. What's that card? It's the Juicy Psych Melon round 2. But for Big Spell Mage, which is very, very cool. I love Big Spell Mage. I've always been a fan of that deck. Ever since Cobalt and Catacombs, I've loved that. And it looks like it might actually have a shot here. So, what? We got Flame Strike or Super Polymorph. I'm sure there's an 8 mana spell. Oh, Deep Freeze, Insane Magic Bullshit, and the Tower. So I think that's so cool. And it doesn't even just draw them, it duplicates them. That's sick. Axe Berserker, Rush, Honorable Kill, draw a weapon. I don't think this has a place. You could just use Corsair Cash, or just do something better at 4 mana, like Sword Eater. Yeah, I don't see this being used over Sword Eater at all, ever. Bless. More priest stuff, give me an +2 health, and that. Okay, that's really good. That's very, very good. That is a huge piece for Zoo Priest. Great with the Geode. Great with that 2/10 freezing thing earlier. Zoo Priest might be a thing. I don't know. Do you have that other card to draw cards? I'm going to try Zoo Priest. I'm going to try building a Zoo Priest deck. Blood Guard. Whenever this takes damage, give minions +1 attack. I don't think that's very good. Bunker Sergeant. If they have 2 or more minions, deal 1. I think that's too little. Cavalry Horn. Summon the lowest cost minion in your hand. I think that's too expensive. For 5 mana, 3/2 weapon, I think it needs to be doing more than that. So, again, don't think this is gonna pan out. Contraband Stash. Replay. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I don't know if there's a way to really make this. This could be good in the Death Rattle one, because there's that Death Rattle where you discover a card from another class. But if there's a way to specifically get high cost stuff, this could be really good. Desiccated. Ooh, that's cool. Desecrated Graveyard. Destroy your lowest attack. That's really cool for Zoo. That's really good with the Tamsin's Dreadsteed. I just wonder how the order of that would it still resummon on this turn? Well, I'll have to find out. That's a cool looking guy. I like this. This is really good. Zoo's in a pretty decent spot right now, and being able to swap out your lowest attack for a 4/4 is kind of nice. It might be a bit slow, but I think if you do combo it with the Dreadsteed, that's probably way too slow. But I just love Dreadsteed, so I'm a bit biased. But I think this is a this could be a nice piece for Zoo. Direwolf Commander. That's very bad. It doesn't have rush. Double agent. If you're holding another card from... ooh, that's pretty good. That's cool artwork, too. That's pretty good on 3. Just getting 2 3/3s like that. But I don't actually know how you get... oh, no, you can get the Death Rattle card on 2. So maybe this goes in a Death Rattle deck is kind of board presence until you can pop off later with your doubling Death Rattles and your rushing copying things. That could be nice. Frantic Hippogriff. Rush, Honorable Kill, Wind Fury. I don't know how many 3 health things are going to be in the meta, but if there are a lot, this is decent removal. But I think it's just decent at that. Even if this didn't have... maybe if this was just Rush Wind Fury by itself, it'd be something to look at, but... I don't know. Ooh, another Frost Shaman. Deal 3 damage. This is so good. Why are they going all so hard on Frost Shaman? I like this. It's good removal, and if you get a perfect, it slows your opponent down to develop your board. And that's also good with that elemental we saw earlier with the Snowbolt guy. That's really nice. I like that. War Master. This might just be really good. Frostwolf War Master. I mean, what? You play this in Zoo, you play this in Row, you get a free 3/3. Probably more relevant in Zoo. If you vomit out a couple 1/1s and then you get this thing for free. And there's especially this could also be really good with that warrior card, depending on how the cost reduction works. If you drop the price of everything in your hand by 2, play 2 other guys, this should cost 0, unless the text on that other card makes this go to 1, which still 1 mana through 3 is pretty good. I think this is something that a lot of tempo-y aggressive decks would want to consider. Anything that can drop to 0, especially this easily, because I mean 4 is a good cost for this. If it was any cheaper, it'd be busted. But I think 4 is pretty achievable. Full blown evil. Deal 5. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's enemy minions though. That's unfortunate. If this could go face, that'd be a huge ender finisher rather. Full blown evil though. That's. For what? For 6 mana, you deal 10. For 9, deal 15. That might be good. That actually might be good enough for a control lock. But I think they have other better things to do. For 3? I don't know though. I would definitely consider that. Okay, so that's where we're at before. So, we'll scroll on down to where I left off earlier. Because I think I had gotten onto the cards that we'd already seen. Yeah, okay. Deliverance. I don't think this is very good. Even if you do get the honorable kill, just getting a 3/3 isn't really what Priest wants to be doing. Because this looks like it's probably a control card, and that's not a very good upside for a control Priest. Reconnaissance. That could be pretty good, depending on... Did my music end? Oh no, it just loops. That could be good for the Death Rattle Rogue. Not very reliable, though. I think the real synergy here is with that card, the Double Agent from earlier. So you can get a Death Rattle and then make sure you have the 3 mana 6/6 on turn 3, which is pretty nice. Cold Tooth Yeti. I think this is a meme. I just think it's cute. I mean, if you think about it, this combined... So if you do what? Like a prep into something else, and then you're able to get this out on 3. Maybe a coin onto this. I don't think this has any realistic shot being played. This is good for Token Demon Hunter. I think Token Demon Hunter could be a very real thing. I think it finally found its kind of legs in just that the Kirchhoff's Hero card, which is so good. And just being able to attack once per turn with this, a 3 mana 2/2 with 2 1/1s. That's... What are these Felwings? Okay, it's just they don't have a rush or anything. This is really good, and just being able to build a board presence while you get to Kirchhoff in the end, and getting more attacks off, making the demons from Kirchhoff even bigger, and summoning things for your Urzul giants. I think that's really good. I think Token Demon Hunter might actually just have enough of a package to work here. Amplified Snow Flurry. I don't think this is very good. Just at all. Run Tour Guide. Mountain Bear is cool, but it's too slow. and that's not really what Hunter wants to do right now, even with the new hero card. Well, that could be a good thing of keeping you alive with the new hero card, but I think it's too slow. Kurtrus, this is fucking so good. You get instant upgrade to your hero power, and the 2 demons with rush that I think it, scales their attack, right? Those are super good. Even that, I mean, by the time you get this, Demon Hunter usually attacks like every turn, pretty much, or every other turn. So turn 6, these are 4/4s. So 6 mana, gain 5, get a better hero power, get 4/4s. That by itself is good enough. So I think this goes in pretty much, even if it's not like a token Demon Hunter deck, I think this can pretty much go in every other type of Demon Hunter deck as well. Just for the fact that it makes your hero power so much better, gives you a little bit of longevity and some board stabilization with these bats. Pathmaker, I don't really care about Druid too much. It's a cool effect. Hopefully you get to, the way this is worded, it looks like you get to target it. So if there's a good target to choose one, it would still work. Like, actually, I don't think Wrath is in the game right now, so never mind. Beastalker Tavish, a good Hunter card. It's super good for late game. Although there are times where you would rather just have the 2 ping over each turn. Being able to cast the 2 secrets is really good, and the extra longevity, and it does give you most of the time an objectively better hero power for a late game. So I think this will actually pay off. It just depends if you really want to go all in on secrets, or just throw this in like a mid-range aggro hunter if you kind of go late game. Give you a bit of a chance. Rune of the Archmage. Oh, this is so good. I hope it's good. I'm gonna try it. Magister Dawn's Grasp. So I think this is really good. I think it's super easy. So obviously, a spell from each spell school is really nice. Get a big freeze, get a big flame. So clear the board, lock it down, do face damage with Mask of Cthulhu, all sorts of good stuff. Draw cards with the Arcane one, or just do the Arcane shot thing that deals damage and summons a guy. And then with this, I think this is one of the few honorable kill that's really easy to line up. Because, I mean, you have tons of spells as a mage. Deal 1 damage is so easy. There's lots of things you can do with that. Then you get the 3 damage, and then that's pretty easy. And then once you have 5 damage, you're good to go. Just start shooting it face, and you'll close out the game pretty quick. I don't know if this thing is good enough. There was that other Paladin card that I said synergize with this earlier. I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was Dry Minion. So you could heal 8, get this thing, but I don't think this really closes out games. And I don't think Paladin wants to go too late right now. Even with the new Cariel, the hand buffing stuff is nice, but this actually could be good with the new Cariel. We'll have to see. Mass Polymorph is really cool. It's tough to run this and Flame Strike, so maybe do 1 of each, 2 of one of this. I think this probably is worse than Flame Strike most of the time. But if we get into a place where things are bigger than 5 health, this would probably be superior. Ricardo Valaris. A lot of people are talking about this as kind of boring, and I would agree. But I think this is a really good hero, even though it's not flashy. You have a consistent deal 2 damage. You can kill things, gain 4 armor, and you have this big weapon to go either face or hit it into things and send them into face. So it's I think it's a good hero. I don't think it's the best one, but I definitely don't think it's the worst. Like I've seen some other opinions. Frozen Mammoth is a meme. It's a cute meme. Sigil of Reckoning could be very good, but I don't think this has as much removal as Warlock did when Skull of the Minari worked. And Skull of the Minari was multiple times, and it had the Void Lord, so if you killed it, it had 3 taunts to block it. So the best case scenario for this is obviously the big 7/9 that summons other guys, but then he has to be in your hand, and big Demon Hunter doesn't have as good card draw as Warlock did back then. So I don't know if this will work. I don't think it'll work. Captain Galvangar, I really like him. That's a good end game condition for Control Warrior. It is costed at a way. Well, actually, you could think about it. You could do the 4-cost guy who drops your cost by 3, play him, and then into a faceless, and that reduces by 3. You could do 2. You could do this guy in 2 facelesses. That could be a really disgusting way to end a game. But honestly, if you have a Control Warrior with this and just high-cost guys, you'll be able to play Vandar. And even if this guy doesn't get discounted, one of the other 2 facelesses probably will. So then that's at least 18 damage and up to 27 at max. depends, again, it all depends on how Fatigue Warlock goes, because that can beat you to the damage and beat you to the end game, but those also do get low enough to the point where you probably could just send this in and kill him from 9, or maybe 18 if you need. I think this is good, and it pairs very well with Ricardo from earlier. Iceblood Tower is sick. Big Smell Mage is the best. I love it. I'm going to be playing it. Belinda Stonehearth is a part of that puzzle for Big Spell Mage, which historically hasn't had good card draw because it's Big Spell Mage. You want to draw spells. The best way to do that is with other spells. But I think now this is a meta where Big Spell Mage can exist to get the draw in with minions like this one and Star Scryer to actually be able to have enough fuel. And then that copying card from earlier, which really sucks because that's not a big spell, but it gives you more big spells, so I think it would be okay to run that 4-cost in this deck. This would be... Drawing a 4-cost would absolutely suck with this card, because it would make it weaker and make the 4-cost more expensive, but it might be worth it. But you might not even need the 4-cost, honestly. That might just be a bit overkill. We'll have to see. Lobotomizer, this sucks. Xyrella the Devout is really cool. With Death Rattles, I think it's really good because of that 5/5 that draws a Holy and a Shadow. So you can get 2 spells back for sure, or draw 2 spells. Can pair up well with the Death Rattle synergy card that you keep trading back into your deck, and it gets stronger and stronger. So it can kind of fuel that, and then at the end summon a whole bunch of guys to protect you. I think this will also work pretty well, because I mean you have low-cost Death Rattles, high-cost Death Rattles, and just a lot of stuff to keep you alive. I think this is really good, and the hero power is great. It's not as flashy as some other ones, but it does solid damage, solid healing, and I think this is just kind of exactly what Priest wants to do. I think it's way better than the Priest Galakrond, honestly, because that was a great control card, but it gave you such just random bullshit. I think this is better than that. And that Priest Galakrond was a good card. Spring the Trap. This is a good card. Even if you don't get the honorable kill, this is pretty good value. You don't get to choose a secret, but you're going to be putting good secrets into your deck, and then deal 3, draw a secret, play it. Is probably worth 4 mana by itself, and then if you get honorable kill, you're rolling, man. you're in a good spot if you get that. And then you can play this into Petting Zoo, I think that's called, or some other secret synergy cards, and it'll just be... I think Secret Hunter looks like it could be a pretty good mid-range deck, I think. Cheaty Snowbolt is good for face damage, I think. There's a lot of things that allow you to freeze the enemy hero, so this can just be a Bloodlust after that Ice Bear, or you can turn that 1 mana freeze and draw a card into 1 mana, deal 3, freeze and draw a card, which is fucking crazy. That's such a good card. Oh, Najak Hexen, this card sucks. Seraphine Fleet Runner, this card sucks, but it's fun. Undying Disciple, it's good. It's really good with that that +2 and then set to 9. That could also just be a good finisher by itself. I think that makes this card a lot better. And even just like leaving it up, maybe you don't want to kill it because you don't want to get the Death Rattle and wipe your board, but then they buff it to 9 and it hits you in the face for 9. So pretty scary stuff, I think. And it's also a good Death Rattle target with Xyrella. I don't know how that works though, because it won't really have any attack when it dies, when the Xyrella Death Rattle triggers, so it might do 3, it might do 0. I'd imagine it probably does 3. Azul Giant is great. That makes Token Demon Hunter work even better. Besides just filling the board with your expendable performers and getting, like, what, +20 on a turn, you can also drop these big 8/8s and seal the deal. I think it's really going to be it'll be a great card. Bracana of the Elements. Oh, he's really cool. I don't know if he has a place, actually. The Shaman decks aren't really going in that direction right now, but it's a good control card. So this probably works best in Quest Shaman, honestly, but I don't think it's really worth it to end the game out. Like, it's a fun card. I won't be sad if I get it. I'll probably craft it eventually anyways, but I think it might be the weakest hero card. Despite how good the battle cry is and how good the hero powers are, the random aspect really, really sucks. Even though they're all good hero powers, like the water invocation's really weak. Fire one doesn't interact with the board. This one's good. It's better than Dr. Boom one. And that one's great. That one's great. But I just think it leaves a bit to be desired, and there's not enough for a control shaman right now. Frozen Buckler, pretty good by itself. Good for control decks to help survive, like, past those few crucial turns. And I love that combo with that big card earlier that deals 5. I think that by itself is pretty neat. Popsicooler, cute, but I don't think it's good. Forsaken Lieutenant. This is the thing that'll make Death Rattle Rogue work if it does. I think there might be enough Death Rattles. I'll have to look it up later. I might record a little later part of this of building decks, but I think this is a very promising card. If not now, but at some point. Like, even this into Ruby and Egg is great. So, I think it has potential. Shadowward Devour. I think this is too minor to do anything important. This obviously could be good with a combo to suck in more health, then play the +2 and set the attack equal. So, when you have a card that sets your attack equal to your health, anything that buffs health is something to look at. So, like, this would be a game ender against a token Demon Hunter if they go wide. Dread Prison Glaive. I don't think this is very good. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't think that the little extra damage you're going to be getting with this card is really going to matter. The way Demon Hunter is right now, it's either lifesteal and it blows you out of the water, or... I mean, that's really the only viable Demon Hunter right now. And having 20 health versus 25 health doesn't matter when you're getting hit for 36. And Tempo Demon Hunter doesn't really work right now. And I think in Token Demon Hunter, I think there's that other weapon that you run, the 1 mana 2/1/2 that, or 2 mana 1/2 that summons the 2 guys. I think that's still in the game, and you'd rather have that or just be doing something else on turn 1. I think could be a spot, but I don't think that extra damage is going to be needed. Sidam the Scarlet. I think this is great with any kind of buff stuff, which Paladin is absolutely in the marketplace for right now. I think this is an amazing card. That'll be in like every Paladin deck for this expansion. Sacrificial Summoner, I think is pretty cool. I don't think it will work right now. Shadowcrafter Scabs is really nice. The Vanish plus 2 Jungle Panthers plus the Innervate hero power is sick. I don't know what you need this to, what kind of combos you need to be doing with this, but I'm sure better players than I will figure that out, and then I will copy their decks. So it could be a good part for Garrote Rogue if that continues in the future. Because with that nerf, you have to get a little bit of extra spell damage, and I think this actually might make the difference in terms of cost on that final turn, but I suck at that deck and I never play it, so I don't really care. Cold Tooth Mine. Oh, this is actually really good for that 3/4 earlier, and it goes right into it. This would be really good for some kind of combo deck, but unfortunately the combo druid decks right now... Oh, wait, no, it's cards, so... Actually, no. Yeah, this doesn't work with Anaconda Druid because the highest cost card is... Actually, no, if your highest... Okay, I don't think this will work. Because if you're wanting to draw your highest cost card, you want to have Celestial Alignment beforehand, and then necessarily Celestial Alignment will not be your highest cost card. Drawing your lowest cost card could be nice for a Lightning Bloom on a later turn, but that's just banking the mana, and Druid can just do other things with mana manipulation, especially with their new hero. So, cool, but I would rather just run Guess the Weight, honestly. Field of Strife. I thought this sucked. I still don't know if it's that good, but I think this is a big plus for Token Demon Hunter. Getting your board damage to scale, especially because you'll have so many 1/1s typically. And I've played a lot of Token Demon Hunter, and it's not been very good. And being able to get them from 1/1s to 1/2s, it's the biggest. It doubles their output. It makes them so much better. Okay, this card's great. I think this is a really good card. Build a Snowman. This is a great control mage card. Great for quest mage, but I think that's kind of dead. But even beyond that, it's just a super good value card. A 3/3 that freezes, a 6/6 that freezes, and a 7/7 that freezes. And you can run 2 of these. This is better than the Phoenix card, but that wasn't very good to begin with. But these freeze, so maybe they will be. Who knows? Snowball Fight. Great control freeze shaman card. Looking at the rest of the Frost Shaman cards, I don't know if this is actually something you would want to put in, because the rest of it's kind of tempo-y. But we'll see. Tamsin's Phylactery. This is a cool card. I am absolutely going to work to get a board full of Dreadsteeds and then lose after that, but this has potential. I don't know if there's really good enough death rattles right now for this to work, but it's absolutely scary, and it very well could work. And if it does work, it might make Zoo into an impressive kind of deck, especially with the Wicked Shipment. Dreadflesh Tamsin is a fucking beast. It's so good. This reminds me of the old Malfurion Death Knight, where like It's not super fancy. It doesn't do anything spectacular, but it just does so much well. The battle cry is amazing. The hero power is amazing. This just gets you to your endgame warlock conditions better. And like, honestly, there is some small anti-synergy with the warlock quest, but honestly, it gains you 5. And for warlock quest, I really don't... Your hero power does maybe 4 damage total to you. Actually, no, it maybe will do like maybe 6 or 8 damage to you total over the course of the quest, but a lot of that just comes from the other cards that you have in your deck. And even if you do slow down quest warlock by a bit, I think having this big swing turn will really help keep you alive against the kind of decks that can bully you out. So I think this even goes into a quest lock. I think that goes in every warlock deck. Like, no joke. This is an amazing card. Frostwolf Kennels is a very cute little card. I like the little baby wolves. The fact they have stealth is really good. There's a couple things that can deal 2 damage right now, but not that much. And having a couple wolves up drops the cost of that other wolf, and then you get a lot of wolves that are really cheap. Then you play the that 2/3 that gives you guys +1. Maybe you play 2 of those. Maybe you play Sow the Soil and kill your opponent with lots of little baby wolves. I think this is pretty decent. This is very good. If you have any amount of cards that summon beasts, this is a must-add. And hey, this is a card that summons lots of beasts. This is very good, especially considering that other +2. I forgot about that. The +2/+1 for your rest of your beast things. I think Beast Druid could work. Lochlar the Ice Lord. Good. Probably good in Warlock, and that's about it. Just a big stupid removal. And if it sticks, you win the game. You don't even have to slap that Wind Fury card from this set on it. It just already has it. Barren Glacier. Cute name. I think this could actually be really good, especially considering how many frost spells you would want to play. You're going to want to play the freeze and draw card and the elementals that generate the freeze and draw card. So that's instantly 3/3/4s. And there's a lot of other good frost spells. And then you're going to have a board full of like the ice stags. And then 4 health is a breakpoint that not a lot of decks can deal with. I think Mage, Warlock. Wait, can Warlock do it? Yeah, they have Soul Rend. Demon Hunter has... Maybe Big Demon Hunter would run the Chaos Nova. Rogue. Even if you bounce it, you just get more Ice Stags the next turn. Yeah, there's not a lot that can really deal with these 4 health guys. 4 health is a pretty big breakpoint. So, I think this might actually work, despite everyone fucking laughing at it when they first saw it. Carry a Fell Soul is kind of boring. I don't think Big Demon Hunter is that exciting. I much prefer Token. And even if Big Demon Hunter is good, this gets it out a little bit early, which is obviously really good, but I don't quite think it's there. Grim Totem Bounty Hunter is really cool tech, and it probably will actually see some play. I mean, there's never a meta where there's really not legendary minions seeing play, but it just depends if they're tempo ones. If they are, then this guy probably finds his way into a couple of decks. Born to Change is actually really cool for Big Demon Hunter, but I don't think that... I think the problem with Big Demon Hunter is that the big demons don't really do enough. I mean, they summon other big demons, but they get wiped, and that's about it. There's no comeback, I don't think, for Big Demon Hunter. Even though that card is really strong. Spammy Arcanist, I forgot this existed. This is so cool. I love that. Hopefully it's good, because I love Defile, and that was always a fun card. But 5 mana is a lot. Defile is usually easiest to play in the early game when they have its 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. And by 5 they might be at weird breakpoints, but I think this is still an okay card. Hollow Abomination is not an okay card. This is a bad card. It doesn't do enough. Even if it gets a kill, it'll still not have taunt. Won't have a big impact on the board. You just be ignored. And it's really going to only have the honorable kill on that first attack. If it gets a second one, that's just a bonus, but I don't see it. Snowed In. I originally thought this was better than it was. I think it's okay. It's a good stall card, but the fact that you have to have a damaged minion to begin with, if they don't, then you just can't use this, and that's a lot worse. So, it's okay. It might be good, but I don't think it's that good. I would much rather just use Coerce or the Buckler into the deal 5. Ivus the Forest Lord. I don't know what to think about this card. I think it's okay, but I really don't think it's reliable enough. Any card where you might just whiff, anything that you need to like be a taunt, be a removal, and you whiff on it, feels really bad. It's like trying to roll the taunt totem. It's not fun. Abominable Lieutenant, fun but bad. Ram Tamer could be good for the Secret Hunter deck. Definitely a really good mid-range card. Stealth 5/4 is nothing to overlook. That can deal a lot of damage and it can deal it quick. So, something to look at. Revive Pet, cute for Beast Hunter. I don't really think it needs to be. I don't think it has a place right now. Flag Runner could be good for Token Demon Hunter. You might throw it in there. It's like the 30th card, but I really don't think it's that big. I mean, compare it to Darkshire Councilman would be amazing in Token Demon Hunter, but for 1 more health on having to need them die, I think is a big downside. But I could be wrong. Wing Commander Ickman is bad but fun. Templar Captain is really good for a mid-range paladin, top-end kind of thing. I'm surprised they didn't try to shoehorn this with Honorable Kill, because that's a really strong effect. These are those defenders, I think, for that other card, too. This is really good for a late control kind of paladin, which I don't think has the support right now, unless you kind of just keep something with charge in hand and, like, buff it up. I don't even know if there is a charge card you can keep in hand, but it's such a powerful card. I hate to say that it's bad, but I just don't see it seeing play right now. Dunbadal Bunker, great for Secret Hunter, just period. Unless you cheat too many secrets out of your deck anyways. So that could actually be a real issue with this. Maybe just run one of them. That's not a good card. That's questionable. If it gets the Honorable Kill, it's really good. But if it doesn't, it's just okay. Actually, that's probably okay. She's doing her part. This might actually be really good. Bloodseeker could be very good. Even if you don't get the Honorable Kill, that's still a decent weapon. I mean, there's not really much else. I mean, I don't know. I'm torn. I like to think it's good. I'll say it's good. Dunbaldar Bridge. I think this is too slow. Obviously, it could be good with that rushing guy, but then he'll be a 3-mana 6/6 with rush on turn 5, which is good, but not necessarily the best. Snowfall Graveyard could be cool with Death Rattle Rogue. I honestly don't think there's enough for Death Rattle Rogue, but if I'm wrong, this will be like what pushes it over the edge, getting all those doubles. Siphon Mana. Oh, we're getting to the end of them here. This card is pretty scary. It's a good thing they nerfed Quest Mage, because this might push that over the edge a bit. You'd play it in Quest Mage. Can't fit into Big Spell Mage, really, I don't think. It's still a good card, but I don't think it'll see play. Wildheart Guff is a super fun hero. I think he's pretty good, honestly. Just getting the hero power of drawing a card and getting some armor and getting, well, really this just costs 4 and comes with an Wild Growth. I just really don't see why you don't bring this card. I mean, the Druid hero power kind of sucks anyways, and there's not many instances where you really want that. So I think this is a good, nice card. You're not going to really go for the 20 mana OTK, but being able to play something on top of Survival of the Fittest might just be enough to push this over the edge. Lightforge Cariel is really good. Immovable Object is great. Battlecry Consecration is pretty nice, and his hero power is dope, especially if you slap it onto that other Paladin Legendary. I think she goes in every Paladin deck. That's not aggro. Vandar, we know him, and Drekthar, we know him, and that is it. So, overall, I think this is going to be a fun set to close the year out with. Is there a way to... I want to see the hero cards. Hero. Oh, wait. Okay, I guess we'll just... So, I think... I haven't really thought about how I would rank the hero cards. I think the weakest... I don't know what the weakest hero card is, because they're all really good, I think. Oh, I think Shaman's probably the weakest. Then I would say... maybe Priest. And then I would say Hunter, Druid, Warrior, Rogue. Did I already say Hunter? Maybe Hunter. I'm all fucking out of whack. Anyways, I think the best hero card is probably Demon Hunter, Warlock, Mage, and then maybe Paladin after that. don't know. Anyways, that's the set. Looking forward to it. I would be shocked if anybody besides myself watched this far. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Looking to see how well or poorly I do based on these reviews in the future. If I have some free time, I might upload a deck building video in a couple days. Might be kind of fun. But yeah, that was this, and I will see you in the next one.